FlossTube, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. Today is Tuesday the 13th of February and I'm here with my latest update. I just first wanted to mention that on the weekend I went to the Mirabilia retreat and it was absolutely amazing. I met some really wonderful people. I met some other FlossTubers. My friend Robin and I drove up on Friday afternoon, and we were going really well until we stopped for dinner. We stopped for dinner just at a Hungry Jack's and had a really late dinner, and then it started pouring and storming and we weren't sure which way we'd come from and which way we were supposed to keep going. So I pulled out my phone and it's got a compass. The GPS on it wasn't working for some unknown reason, I pulled out my, it's got a compass on it, so I put that on and it told me which way was southeast, which was where we were supposed to be going from that direction according to the map. And we went that way for about 20 minutes and I said to Robin, I don't think we're going the right direction. Finally I got the GPS to work and sure enough it said, turn around, you're going the wrong way. So obviously the compass on the phone doesn't work very well. Anyway, we managed to arrive probably about 9:30, 9:45, something like that. Checked into the hotel, it was pouring rain. And then we got into the hotel room. Laura from Laura X Stitch. Hi Laura, if you're watching. It was wonderful to meet you, and Belinda from An Itch to Cross Stitch, but I'll mention that later. But they had asked us to join them for a drink that night, but by the time we arrived at the hotel it was too late, so they said they were already in their pajamas and we said we were pretty tired, so we went to bed. Saw a massive spider in the room. Neither Robin or I are really comfortable around spiders, let's say. By our standards it was an extremely large spider. It was probably about that big, so it was pretty large. All right, maybe it was a little bit smaller, but you know, by our standards it was large. So we didn't know what to do. We didn't know the etiquette about calling reception to get someone to come and catch a spider. I don't know what you do in that situation. So Robin pulled out her deodorant and we sprayed it and it dangled from the ceiling, and then we got it with a shoe and it was all good. We managed to get a good night's sleep. I'm sorry if I shook the table just then. I hope I didn't make anyone sick. Anyway, the next morning we went down to breakfast and we finally met Laura and Belinda from Laura X Stitches and An Itch to Cross Stitch. Had a quick chat with them because we were finishing up. They were just starting breakfast, and then we went up to our room again just to kind of freshen up, and then went down for a walk. And while we were walking we ran into the very lady herself, Nora Corbett, and she shook our hands and just had a really quick talk with her. She asked us our names and where we were from, and she said she was loving the Sydney heat, or the New South Wales heat. We said we were ready for winter, but she was quite happy to be in the summer. She felt a bit guilty because her sons were in snow and it was really cold. So yeah, she was kind of on her way for a coffee, so we let her go, and then we went back up to the room and walked into the room where we were going to have the retreat. And I walked around and took some footage of all the pieces that were on display, and I will insert that at the end of the video so you can have a look if you like. And then we met, while we were waiting, we saw Joe from Vintage Chick Stitches and Teresa from Teresa Craig on YouTube, and they were just as awesome. All four of them were just as awesome as they are on their videos. It was really, really wonderful time. So I will insert some pictures here. I also met Mitch Stitch. Hi Michelle, if you're watching. Unfortunately I didn't get a photo of her, with her, but yeah, it was just a really wonderful experience. So we chatted to Nora probably on, I think on the first day. She sat at our table and chatted to us for a good 2 hours. And that was really awesome. And I asked her to sign my Lady of the Mist, which she signed my pattern. And then that was the piece that I put in for display, and I asked her to sign it, and I don't know if you can see that. She wrote, "This is lovely, Miss Lorna. Much love, Nora Corbett." So unfortunately you can't see that when it's hanging on the wall, obviously, because that's the back. But I didn't really want anything on the front. And then on the second day, they had where people had to put their favourite piece and vote for their favourite piece, and Lady of the Mist came second. So I'm really stoked. I want to thank everyone who voted for it. It was just a really amazing experience. And I'll show you what I won. I won this beautiful wooden box, and it just opens up. I guess it's a bit like a jewellery box. That was the number that was on, that was the category that my Lady of the Mist was in, framed mirror. I don't know if there were 40 pieces, 40 other framed pieces there, but that was just the number that it was given so that people could vote. So yeah, I've got to hide this from my daughter because she absolutely loves this box, and she's been trying to put her Lego in it. So I've got to make sure it stays out of her hands. But yeah, I was stoked just to have won, or just to have placed. The person who came first was a lady named Jenny. Her piece was absolutely beautiful. I think it was Shakespeare's Dances, or I'm not quite sure what the name of it was. It was Shakespeare's something. Anyway, her piece was really beautiful, and I believe she does model stitching for the shop for Linen and Threads, who put on the retreat. So they entered it into the competition for her, and yeah, she won that category. So congratulations to her. But yeah, it was amazing. Unfortunately, Laura and Belinda had to leave early on the Sunday because they had to catch a flight. I think they left at about 11:30 and didn't get home till probably about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or didn't land until about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they had another hour or two drive after that. So they had a really long day of traveling on Sunday, but it was just awesome to meet them and to meet the other FlossTubers, and as well as the other people who we were with that don't do FlossTube but who are just as awesome. And it was really surreal to have people come up to me and say hi because they knew me from my video. It was just amazing. It was really nice, and I can't wait to do it again. I'm hoping probably not next year, but maybe the following year. They think there might be. No, I won't go into that. I'll leave that. But I better not say anything just in case, because it's not quite official yet. But I'm hoping I might be able to make it to 2020, but we will see. Anyway, so that's about it for the retreat. I'll show you what I bought from there in a minute. I'm really shiny and hot and sweaty. I'm really sorry about that. It's another heat wave, unfortunately. To me, a heat wave is anything above 28 degrees Celsius, but today is about 35, so it is quite hot, and I've got the air conditioner on if you can hear the Ernie buzzing. But yeah, I'll get on with the progress. So the whips I've worked on so far this month. I worked on the Prairie Schooler alphabet, and I was working on the letter B, and here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So I finished block B, And that will come out again for the Olympics challenge. And then I pulled out the Guardians of Notre Dame. I think the last time I spoke to you was on the 31st of January. So Guardians of Notre Dame came out later that day, later the following day. And here's where it was the last time you saw it. And here it is now. And so I finished the second block of that one, the second chimera. And still really enjoying this. This is on 28 count Joberlin. The Prairie Schooler alphabet is on 28 count Joberlin as well. No, this is on Lugana, I think, and that's on Joberlin. Anyway, they're on even weave, 28 count even weave. Prairie Schooler alphabet is being done 1/1, and the Guardians of Notre Dame is being done 2/2. So that is a mystery cell, so I don't know what it's going to look like, what the whole thing will look like at the end. Then I worked on Villa Mirabilia, which will look like this when it's finished. And yes, I got this one signed as well. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And there it is now. So I just kind of extended the arch a little bit and worked a little bit on this, which is going to be a vase with a little bit of greenery around it. So that's Villa Mirabilia, and being stitched on 28 count Oasis, 28 count even weave. I think it's an Opal Lugana in Oasis by Colour Cascade Fabrics. And then I worked on there was the Full Coverage Fanatics challenge where you work on you try to do 1200 stitches a month, and I actually managed over 2000 this month on Stockings Faithful Friends by Hay. What it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So I finished 4 columns there. So I think the last time you saw it, I'd finished the first 3. Sorry, now I've finished 5. So I did 2 columns. And then on Friday, last Friday, the Winter Olympics challenge started, which is being run by Stitch Mania, which I will link below. And I had a new start. I started Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs. It's the first time I've ever done a Blackbird design, and I was enjoying it. I didn't get much done, unfortunately. Friday was I thought I'd have a lot more time to stitch than I actually did. I knew I probably wouldn't get much stitching done while I was in the hotel, but I thought I'd have a lot more done that day. But unfortunately, it was just too rushed. Just packing, getting my daughter ready for the weekend away, like the weekend without me, just getting her clothes ready and that kind of thing for my husband to look after her. My in-laws were also coming to stay that weekend, so I had to kind of make the place ready for them, get their room ready and that kind of thing. So I didn't have much time at all, but got a little bit of stitching, and this is what I managed. This is a tea-dyed fabric. It was tea-dyed in chamomile tea. It was 25 count Lugana in white, but now it's got a yellowish tinge. That's white fabric behind it, so that's how much it's changed there with the chamomile tea. So that's where I got to on that one. That's just the border on the side. So that was the first day. It was a new start. The Saturday was the winter theme, and I worked on Summer Queen by Mirabilia. The reason being that our summer is the Northern Hemisphere's winter, and we are watching the Winter Olympics in our summer. So here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And that's where it is now. And this one is being stitched on 28 count Monaco in Indian Sunset by Colour Cascade Fabrics. And I was stitching this at the retreat, and a lot of people came up to me and said how much they love the fabric. So I'm really grateful to them and to Colour Cascade Fabrics for that fabric. It's absolutely beautiful and really nice to work on. The third day I was going to keep stitching on Summer Queen. It was for a South Korean theme, and I was going to use the colours of the South Korean flag to work on Summer Queen because it's got blue and white in it. But I decided that since South Korea is on a peninsula, which means that there's water around the kind of bottom bit of it, there might be mermaids around there. So I pulled out Emerald Mermaid by Mirabilia, and Nora was gracious enough to sign this for me, and she wrote, "To Lorna, much love, Nora Corbett," on that. So I really like that. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here she is now. This one is being stitched on a piece of 32 count Lugana in Summer Sky by, I think it's Witchell. So she's really, really pretty as well. So that's all the whips I did. Oh, and then I also worked on Fantasy Triptych. The fourth day of the challenge is animals, because of the mascots of the Olympics, and so I've decided to work on Fantasy Triptych, and here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. So I'm using the parking method to work on the first column of this one, and I'm just doing blocks of 10 by 10 squares because I find that I'm getting lost otherwise. So that's what it looks like now. Sorry about that, my daughter woke up from her nap. She's just watching TV, so I'll try to get through this pretty quickly. I'll go through my purchases. I did a bit of shopping on the Stash Unload site, and I bought this one, Cottage Garden Fairy, and I bought it from a lady called Taryn. Hi Taryn, if you're watching. And she was coming to the retreat, so she said I'll hang on to it for you and give it to you at the retreat. So I met her on the first day, and she's absolutely lovely. So that was really nice and a good excuse to talk to her. So that is the Cottage Garden Fairy. It's number MD63, and there's no blurb behind on the backs for this one, so I got that one. And then at the retreat I bought Marigold, which is a Pixie Blossoms collection by Nora Corbett. It's number NC200, and there's no blurb on this one either. I also bought Enchanted Mermaid by Nora Corbett. It's a Mirabilia. It's number MD84, and it says on the back, "This striking sea nymph comes alive with metallic threads, beads and treasures. Read more about Enchanted Mermaid on the inside." This one is chock-a-block full of beads and treasures. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got quite a few. But when I was in the queue to pay for this one, and I also got it signed by Nora, Laura came up to me and she said, "Oh, where'd you get it from? We're going to do a sale with Belinda." I said, "Oh, awesome." Apparently, Joe has this, and Teresa bought it from the retreat as well. Belinda has it, and she wanted to start it after she finishes Snow Queen. And now Laura has it as well. So we're all going to start in June. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Belinda, but it's for Belinda's birthday. So I'm really excited. I'm going to see what kind of fabric it will fit on that I already have, and slowly build up my Mill Hill bead collection and treasures, because it'll cost a fortune. I looked up online how much the bead pack is, and it's about $90 US, so that'll be over $100 Australian. So I'll see how I go with kitting that up, but you don't need the beads until the very end, so I can take my time. But I'm looking forward to starting her. I also bought piece of 28 count even weave. I don't know if this is Lugana or Monaco or Jovelin or another even weave, and it doesn't have a name. I think they dyed this just for the retreat, but it's a really nice sort of sky blue. So it's really pretty. And that's a fat quarter, so it'll fit most Mirabilias. And I also bought the bead pack for Andromeda. So yeah, I'm ready to start. Now, I didn't originally have Andromeda, but I put in an order with Just Add Needles because she had a copy of the Kiss, which she was willing to sell only if you also buy the beads and the chronic, which is fine by me. So I bought that. I also bought Andromeda, so I'm looking forward to starting that one. Here's the Kiss. I had hoped to receive this by Friday so that I can ask Nora to sign this one as well, but unfortunately it didn't arrive until yesterday. So I was one day off, but that's the beads and the chronic. Sorry, the back of Andromeda. This is MD 149, and it just says this design is inspired by the Greek myth of Andromeda. So that's one, and the back of the Kiss. There isn't a blurb on this one either, but this is MD number 12. So I'm looking forward to starting her. A lady on our table at the retreat, her name's Sylvana. I don't think she watches FlossTube, but if you do, Sylvana, hi. It was really lovely to meet you on the weekend. She stitched the Kiss in the original colours, like this, and it's absolutely stunning. She's also stitching it on a blue conversion, which she was working on at the retreat, and it's just beautiful. She was using Madeira thread, and Nora came up to her and saw the thread, and she was lamenting the fact that that kind of blue isn't made by DMC, but it was absolutely beautiful. And she was beading as she went, so she had lots of blue crystals that she was attaching. It was really, really nice. So that's the Kiss, which is now out of print, unfortunately. I also ordered Bella Rose and Bella Hydrangea, which is Nora Corbett NC 237, and it's just the Bella portraits. And this is Bella Butterfly and Bella Bee, which is also by the Bella Portraits, in the Bella Portraits collection by Nora Corbett, and it's NC 238. So that's there. And Marie from Just Add Needles thought that I had waited too long to receive my parcel, or to have my parcel sent out, and she included the whole bead pack for Bella Butterfly and Bella Bee. So I couldn't believe it. So that was really generous of her. So thanks, Marie, if you ever watch this. So yeah, just add needles. I'll link them below. They're a Facebook group. And if she comes across out of print patterns, she buys them and then sells them with the beads and chronic. And she sells them at normal rates, not at exorbitant prices that you find on eBay. But the only caveat is that you buy them with the beads and the chronic, and she does that just so to prevent people from buying them at the low price and then selling them on eBay for a profit, which is fair enough. So I was happy to help her out with the kiss, and I thought to make up for the postage, I would order some others as well. So that's my rather large purchases haul, this, whatever you like to call it, this month, or these last couple of weeks. But the Just Add needles was, I think I ordered that on the 9th of January and only just arrived yesterday. So I've been waiting for it for a while, but it was well worth the wait. I think that's all I have for you. There were no questions and answers this month. I haven't finished reading any of my books. I think Victoria, which was the one about Queen Victoria, it was due back at the library today, so I'm going to have to return it. I'll probably do a run quickly this afternoon. I've already renewed it twice, and they won't let me renew it again without taking it back. So I don't know whether I'll have to leave it there and probably go back for it another day, or if they'll let me take it today. But I'm about halfway through now, and I'm still reading Sense and Sensibility as well. I haven't finished that one either. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting and for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate each and every one of you for watching. I understand how many new FlossTubers there are now, and I understand that the total number of FlossTubers is quite high, and that anyone who chooses to watch me, I feel so privileged that you choose to spend your time watching my video. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I will leave you with some footage of the other Noric Orbits and Mirabilias that were on display at the retreat. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy February. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day for tomorrow to those of you who celebrate that. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.